Mash! After JOG Thoughts, my name is Uyonela Mashalaba, aka the iceberg that never broke. Hello everyone. Welcome back. This is the second episode. I'm not sure actually if I want to take out the first episode. There were just so many things that I was unhappy about with the first episode of Good Morning Mash. After JOG Thoughts, the iceberg that never broke. But I think I'm going to put it up anyways because I think it's part of the learning journey. I have to put out my errors and mistakes out there. I don't think they were huge. I'm just being overcritical of myself here. That was my first video. So a lot was bound to go wrong there. But I think I'm actually going to put it out there. Today, I've got something that is perhaps it's political as well, depending on how you view it. But as I was going through social media yesterday, I was told to always put a disclaimer before I start my videos. So just so everyone knows, these are just my thoughts. They are just based on my own understanding, my own readings. You have a right to critique. You have a right to disagree with me. That's part of this journey, So go ahead. I'll just put on my thoughts. You put your thoughts. And then that's it. That's how this thing goes. So yesterday, as I was going through my social media, I saw there's an issue that has been entertaining a lot of my colleagues, friends on Facebook, Twitter. It's been on media. There's been news articles about it. The story about Grantleigh College. Grantleigh College is in Richards Bay, Ngasempangeni, Mangicabanga. Yeah, nobody thought that ngiyakwazi ukukhuluma. Actually, KZN is my home province. I'm Xhosa, full on Xhosa, but I grew up in KZN, bred in KZN, So there's that story of a matric project, art project, that actually inserted Ronald McDonald's clown in some of the what you would call Atebra. That's my housemate. He's leaving for school. I should be leaving for school. Inserted Ronald McDonald's clown in some what you would call biblical stories, the Last Supper, I think Jesus' crucifixion, I don't know. But so there's a big thing on social media where the parent actually took that particular artwork on video. He was unhappy, and I do understand, he was offended. The fact that it seemed to be depicting Jesus as a clown, and a community, the whole community actually went on Grantleigh, at Grantleigh's Facebook page, and they were just going on, man. People are not happy about this. And this issue is not new in the South African conversations. There has been a lot of critique in terms of how far do we actually push art. How far is how far? A couple of years ago, there was a depiction of Zuma's genitalia by one artist, and South Africa was enraged. At least Jacob Zuma's supporters were enraged, and Helen Zille came, and then they were like, this is public, freedom of expression, it should be allowed, whatnot. And then years came, same thing happened to Helen Zille, Nome Mani, and credit to them, I don't think they took it as harshly as Jacob Zuma supporters took it, and Helen Zille supporters were not as hectic. as Zuma supporters were, even though the depiction was in itself offensive. So I think we kind of ask ourselves these type of questions. How far in artwork, you know? Should government start censoring this type of stuff? You know, you know, uh, how far is sexual exposure in art, for example? You know, and a lot of, and I went back and I was thinking, um, is this thing happening around the globe? And I realized that America has dealt with this thing before, where America has expressly said in their law that art is part of freedom of expression, you know, and that people should be allowed to decide for themselves what to watch and what not to watch, you know. But they set limitations on certain things like pornography, you know. Then when your sexual exposure can be interpreted as pornography, then I think that's where most society would cut the line. But I think people are correctly enraged about the depiction of Christianity, the tearing of the Bible itself. I mean, I have to be honest here, there were some facets of that art which I myself found a bit offensive, you know. And I'm not even like a hectic a religious person, but I was like, if this was my belief, I don't know if I would actually take this well. But this is part of this freedom of expression. You can express how you feel about a particular art, you know. That parent was correct. I mean, he was enraged about the art, the depiction of that art there in that the depiction of Christianity in that form. He was correct in expressing his views about it. There's nothing wrong with expressing your views of dissatisfaction about a particular art, you know. But do we then go as far as censoring something just because you do not feel good when looking at it, you know? Because the issue here is when you censor others, you start censoring yourself, you know? You allow a gateway where people will be able to dictate what you should watch, what you should see, you know? We don't know, maybe I'm stretching this too far, but South Africa in the next 50 years can turn around and not project itself in the Christian light as it does today. How would you feel if then South Africa of that day starts censoring Christian views? You know, so that's just my opinion on that matter. I feel like we should not hurry to want to censor artwork just because it makes us feel a particular way. Let's express our artistic review of things, but I don't think that should be tantamount or interpreted to wanting to censor a particular view. However, this issue is different. I have to be honest. This issue concerns people that I would see as under 18 or just about 18 years of age, where parents, I believe, should have a level of control in terms of what they watch and what they don't watch, you know, what type of censorship. There's a level of censorship that should happen there. And I kind of do agree with the parents. There should have been some form of guidelines which should have been in the governing body policy. I think those should be there in the governing body policy. And if those are not there, then maybe this is the opportunity for Grantleigh High School to form a dialogue with parents to sort of set guideline and policy in terms of their curriculum, you know. So I think this should not be necessarily taken in the form that it has been taken. It's good that the parent has taken it out, but I think a lot of constructive conversation can happen from there. Because yes, we are dealing with minors here. So this case is a bit different than the general form of art that we usually see that usually offends South Africa. So I think the parents of Grantleigh High School, the governing body, the staff can just take this as a learning curve. Let's all learn, you know. There is no need for this animosity. Now that's just my piece on the matter. Anyways, don't forget to like, comment below, and subscribe. I'll see you on the next Good Morning Mash. After JOG Thoughts, my name again is Yonela Mashalaba, aka the iceberg that never broke and it will never break. See you next time, guys.